Hi guys, this is a new series where we are going to share everything about the property market, and then occasionally we have different guests coming along to this show to talk about different topics. And anyway, today we have two ladies over here to share with us this episode on a general market as a whole. And then anyway, let's just introduce the two of them.
Hi, I'm Bernice.
Hi, I'm Hui Ting.
Yep. And then please pardon us our podcast can be a little bit more candid and more honest, and then that would be how we bring the value to you as compared to something that is a little bit more scripted and more coordinated. Let's just hear about how our real personal opinion can be in terms of the market. Anyway, today's focus will be talking about this article that came out on 18th of December that was talking about higher supply in softening market to keep private home prices in check next year. And then we have a whole list of expected launches in 2024 that seems very overwhelming with a total of 12,000 plus units. And will this actually be a little bit too much for the market? Zob, what do you think, Bernice?
Okay, so in 2024, it's actually predicted that there's 12,767 units. But actually, in the real estate market, this is not new. In 2021, there's actually 13,027 units, which is much higher, but we did see an increase, and it's still increasing in terms of property prices.
What do you think, Hui?
Well, I think that with all the supply that's coming out, there's surely bound to be demand. For what Bernice has mentioned, right? In 2021, the supply has been pretty large, but yet we still see a high demand for the houses, right? So in 2024, I would expect it to be the same as well. Yeah.
But where do you guys see the demand actually coming from? Is it from the expected population boom to 6.9 million and sort of thing, and because I think what do you guys know as of the key statistics? What are the general profile of the main demand coming from? Is it more of the foreigner or PR, or is it the Singaporeans?
Actually, most of the demand is actually coming from Singaporeans.
Which is quite a surprise, right?
Yeah, which is quite surprising.
Yeah.
Foreigners, actually with the recent cooling measures, 60% for ABSD for foreigners. So that has really much deterred some foreigners from coming in.
If not most lah.
Yeah, if not most already. Yeah.
What about the PRs? Are they still keen to buy even though they have quite some ABSD? What do you think?
Well, I think that for PRs, the ABS is also still pretty high for them. So I would say that the larger bulk of the buyers is still the Singaporeans lah. Of course, followed by the PRs, and then lastly would be the expats. Yeah.
Because after all, the PRs, they still need a place to stay.
Yeah.
And if they don't pay that 5%, eventually they will have to keep paying rental, which is also not very worth it for them. And that's why we do have quite a bit of proportion of SPRs and ending up buying a property in Singapore.
Definitely.
And then, so let's take a look at the chart that was given to us in this article also. It seems that there are quite a lot of RCR and OCR properties in this whole list, and not as much CCR. What do you guys think could be the possible reasons behind it?
In terms of the development in Singapore, we are mostly trying to develop our OCR regions also lah. Right, the past Sengkang and compared to the now Sengkang, I mean, we can look at the past trends. Sengkang and Punggol flats are pretty much going up. So if we look at CCR regions, yeah, there's definitely lesser because they also come from like en bloc regions. They are being en bloc as compared to government land sales in the OCR region.
Yep. I think to add on is also where the government direction is moving towards lah, because we do know that in the UR plan they are actually trying to develop land regions, and that's why we are actually from the list of launches you can see that probably 3 out of the 10 launches in OCR actually belongs to the Lentor area. And then I think for the CCR portion, you can also expect to see that some of the freehold buildings are actually from buildings which is being torn down, and then they are going to redevelop into residential areas. Yeah. So this is the kind of trend that we are seeing for Singapore.
Yeah, it seems that we don't really have a lot of freehold upcoming developments that are in the OCR. It seems more of focus in the ASEAN OCR region, which is probably due to a simple reason that the government is not selling any more 999 or freehold land. So why do you guys think that's the case, that they are not selling any more freehold and 999 lands?
freehold and triple line land because our population is growing and government will want to also make sure that our land is getting less and less, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so if you think about it, what's the purpose of the government selling the land, right? The income will be something for Singaporeans also, yeah, from the government and sales.
It's something to the land ultimately is gonna yield quite a bit of money for the government, especially for our government revenue to fund basically our state developments lah.
Yeah.
But we also need to do quite a lot of future planning for our future population next time, especially those that are coming for the 6.9 million, and even those planning 50 years, 100 years down the road. If everything is freehold, then I don't think the future generations will have any property left for them lah, for sure, right? And then moving down onwards to the article, we see that Jaden and Walton last month in November, they did, according to this article, it sold surprisingly well at 88%, and Walton at 57%. How do you guys think the performance is? Is it above expectations or below expectations?
I think personally for me, I think Jaden is definitely above expectation lah. Because we all know that actually Jurong is really yeah, I mean it's off central area, right? It's in the OCR region. So in the past you definitely do not expect it to be over 2,000 per square feet kind of prices. But like for this particular launch, you're actually experiencing 88% sales in the first launch. Yeah, so I think it also sets a benchmark for the next few launches in 2024. So we are actually definitely going to see prices rising instead of decreasing despite the supply.
Well, how come what do you mean by the benchmark in that sense?
I think generally for pricing wise, right, like we all know, for the developer to actually to sell their houses, sell the units, right, it's actually based on the construction costs as well as labor costs, and a couple with GST increasing for the next year, right? So they apply a profit onto this, and then that's where they actually set a particular pricing on the units. So I think like what the industry has been saying, despite the supply, we don't see the prices coming down because of the increasing cost. Yeah. So I think like I mentioned earlier, I think 2004 is what we are expecting in the next few years already, because prices is definitely not coming down. So with that kind of benchmark, you are expecting even the CCR region to be even higher than this kind of prices.
So prices you mentioned that are unlikely to come down despite the common, rather common but may or may not be correct consensus that higher, very, very high supply that's coming into the market next year may potentially drive down the prices. What do you think about that, Bernice?
Actually, we need to look into what are the fundamentals of the real estate market. Like a lot of people think that the market will come down, but what's the reason behind why they think so? So if we look at past history or in other countries, why prices come down is because maybe people cannot afford to pay their loans, and then therefore they have to sell it at a loss so that eventually they can exit out. But is that possible in Singapore itself? Let's look into the measures that were being placed in place by the government, like TDSR, MSR. These are really measures to make sure that people really can just buy what they can afford. Yeah. So will there be a strong enough reason to bring the prices down? It's definitely, in my opinion, it's not in Singapore. So that's one. Then with inflation going up, I think that's definitely not going to bring down our property market. Yeah. So yes.
Inflation in terms of as in all the other causes that's involved, legal causes, construction causes, all these kind of things.
Yeah, because with inflation, I believe like everyone will expect their income to go up also. So in terms of like construction costs, the construction workers, their wages, we also need to pay them so that will also naturally increase. Raw materials costs, I mean, if you think about it, Ya-Kun coffees, Ya-Kun set A, right, is going up to $6.30.
Oh my god.
Right? So
very outdated news of the
day. If Ya-Kun set is going up to $6.30, then what do you think about our raw materials that's being used to build the developments?
Because after all these workers, they need better pay for them to continue working. If not, then why would they be in this line? Because we are not just talking about construction workers, we are talking about developer staff and a lot of other stakeholders that's involved. That's why inflation is not as simple as, or or everyone thinks that the property market is going to come down, but there are a lot of other factors like you mentioned just now. They are also at play. And then before we close up, why not we have a quick chat about Walton House, because it has 57% at an average of 3,002 PSF. Is that shocking to both of you?
So Walton House is being launched at $3,230
Yep.
PSF, right? Is
On
that
average,
shocking? I mean, if you think about it, still goes back to the high cost of what eventually would drive up the prices is because developer buy at a certain price, right, for the GRS. So they need to make sure that you can cover construction costs, marketing costs, labor costs, raw material costs. So naturally the price has to go up. So therefore to me it's not shocking. I mean, previously we talked about like 2,000 PSF is like not possible for Singapore, but now we are going up to like 2.4K in the OCR region. So what more for Walton House lah?
And
I
especially
think generally it's also how the market moves together, because if you see that other developments are actually sold at this kind of prices, or land cost is actually at this kind of prices, it's definitely you need to apply a premium onto it, right? So definitely the price is going to increase and to move together as a market lah. So I definitely don't find it very surprising to actually see a 3,000 plus square feet PSF for a particular project.
that is likely to be in the rather near future, maybe not so near future, but rather near future, in probably just a few more years, and for the OCR region, especially after Jayden has hit 2,800 plus for the higher, more premium units. So, and the upcoming, another big factor that is also at play and also having quite a little bit of talk recently will be the interest rates, which I think we'll be talking about because this episode has been quite a while already. We will leave it to the next episode, but today we will thank both of them, Bernice and Hui Ting, for joining us today for this episode, and then see you guys. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you, Titi. Thank you. Bye.
See you.